2021 is in the bag. I've got every new champion ranked. Let's check it out. How's it going, everybody? robvonshoe here. What a year 2021 has been. It was a slow start champion-wise at the start of the year. I feel like it's ending on a super high note. We're going to be ranking all of the new champions here this year. It doesn't include the buffs, but the new champions from S tier, God tier, all the way down to the memeiest of memes. Now, fair warning, this is my own personal opinion. Some of these champs do need awakening and high sig. I will try and call that out as we're going through all of these. But overall, I'm really happy with how these all played out. Now, with that in mind, I've got Steve right there, smack dab in the middle. I'm going to be starting off at rank 24, working my way up to rank 1. Real quick, let me know who you guys think are going to be up in the S tier. Who's your favorite champion of the year? And consider liking the video too, and it's much appreciated. So, starting off with rank 24, the memeiest of memes goes handily to Super Dud. Super Scroll, oh my goodness, this guy, slow to play. The damage he does with the amount of buildup he needs is just not there. I made a video earlier comparing what you have to do to build up to a nice incinerate on this guy, contrasted with Hyperion, and all you need to do is throw a special one. Super Scroll is basically stupid Icarus. Super Scroll, more like super meme. Hot on the heels of Super Scroll at rank 23 is Purgatory. Purgatory is an awesome character design. I like the lore behind her, but that does not translate over to her kit. It's clunky, it's convoluted, and if you're able to successfully steal one of the souls, the crossfight falls off one fight, only one fight after you get it. It's not useful anywhere. And of the different classes that she can wind up stealing, one of them is only really particularly useful. So the idea is there. I think with a buff, she could be a lot of fun, but right now, as it stands, it's just not gelling. Rank 22 goes to MCoC. MCoC, or the champion who I oftentimes forget is even in the game. His most memorable bit is the big, nasty razzle-dazzle special 2 that he can throw that can be unblockable at times if you don't play him right. Otherwise, offensively, it's a bit more of a noodle, to be honest. MCoC does have a nice synergy with rank 21, who goes to Psycho Man. Psycho Man is such an interesting character. He can do so many things, but none of it well. Honestly, the best part about Psycho Man was that he was able to chain stun in the corner, but this sad, mangy, grungy puppy dog had one cool little trick, and he got nerfed to oblivion right out of the gate. So sad. And that rounds out the meme tier. Moving up to arena fodder at rank 20 is America Chavez. America Chavez is another champion who sounds good on paper, should execute well, but it is just so clunky and convoluted in her execution between the different dimensions. The reward is not really worth the time and the luck in order to build it up in the first place. I think she has a lot of potential, but until then, just barely making arena fodder. Jubilee is next up on the list, and she's fun and she's flashy and she's sparkly, but much like America Chavez, it requires an awful lot of work. Speaking of newer champions released, 18 goes to Kraven. Kraven brings root to the contest. He's the first champion to have that, and that's honestly the coolest thing about him. I think we're going to see a lot more of him on defense and root in general. Currently in game as of this recording, he is still bugged, which is unfortunate. Maybe once he's fixed, he's going to be a lot better and smoother to play, but Kraven requires absolute perfect AI to play ball with you so his entire kit can work. If the AI decides it just wants to dash backwards and spring the trap on itself, well, Kraven is not going to have a good time. I think some of you guys may fight me on this one, but rank 17 goes to Odin. Odin wound up getting released and then immediately buffed, like was it a month and a half after. Odin's got some amazing pre-fights, and I still contend that the pre-fights that he can dish out, making somebody a worthy Norseman, is the best part about Odin's kit. Sure, you know, you got the Allfather sleep. Sure, you can dish out some nice chunky special 2s, but as we move farther up the list, he's got to have more than just a big razzle-dazzle special 2. Same kind of goes for Nimrod. Nimrod is the anti-mutant that we've all been waiting for. Nimrod is basically what Psycho Man should have been. the anti-horseman, the anti-mutant character. If you got problems with Magneto, if you got problems with champions like Domino, Nimrod is your go-to. Otherwise, Now moving up to the bench tier at rank 15 is Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom brings a lot of stuff to the table with the different debuffs that he can do. If you wind up stacking up a bunch of the different debuffs, well, Anti-Venom is going to have himself a good time. The thing here, and this is why Anti-Venom winds up getting placed down here instead of getting placed further up the list, is that Science Champions the last year have really focused in, honed in on exactly the kind of gameplay loop that Anti-Venom has. The more debuffs you wind up getting on the opponent, the less and less they can wind up doing. It started off with Void years ago, but as far as the rest of the Science Champions here on the tier list go, I feel like there's more utility with some of the other characters, and certainly, in my opinion, a much more fun playstyle. Also, unfortunately, a bench warmer is Cersei. Cersei I enjoy a whole lot. I like the mechanic where if you're up in somebody's face, you trigger one thing. If you dash back and throw a special, it triggers something else. I enjoy that sort of loop. She can wind up building up some nice damage too, and especially with her awakening and the glancing and the regen, she can be an awfully good tank, which is fun. That sort of playstyle, it's good, it's just slow. So there's a use for it, absolutely. If you want to just like get out and go and just like take the fight to your opponent, as opposed to play defensively, which is where she shines, you're probably going to go with somebody else. The best thing about Jabari Panther is that she was the first champion to have Purify. Purify is an insanely useful skill to have. The problem with Jabari Panther is that the window of opportunity to do that has to be at a high sig level and while her hunt phase is active. Timing that to work out just perfectly so is such a pain in the butt to do. Now you guys also might fight me on this one, but at rank 12 I've got Penny Parker. Penny Parker, what a defensive nightmare. She's been causing so many people so many problems with her complete ability to just shut down all of the usual traditional ways to deal with auto block champions. That by itself should be enough to elevate her higher up the list. But in my own humble opinion, champions are much more fun to play offensively instead of just like ranking them up to just place them on defense and never see them again. So offensively, Penny Parker, much like Cersei, benefits a lot more on defense as opposed to bringing the fight to the opponent. Now, she can do a lot of cool stuff, no doubt, and in certain matchups is going to be insanely useful for controlling the fight. And in a field of tech champions, Penny for me is either on the bench or on defense. So ranked slightly higher than Penny, again playing off of the bit for offensive utility, is Silver Centurion. Now this one comes with the caveat that he needs to be awakened so that his debuffs wind up getting turned into passive abilities. In addition to the fact that he winds up playing like a clunky archangel. Kind of wish that they just went that little bit extra bit just to push him a little bit further. And with that, we're getting into the last two tiers, the best of the best. So, is this champion good? At rank 10, Icarus, yes, is good. Icarus came out of the gate super bugged. He was getting disgusting amounts of damage. Once he got tuned up and fixed and released to the wide public, he still is able to do a lot of damage really easy. The energize and the incinerates he can get are super useful for a lot of annoying nodes and can wind up melting people with armor ASAP. For rank 9, I gotta give that to Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is such a challenging champion to get right, and I'm still working on learning how to play Mr. Negative perfectly. And you really do need to be able to play Mr. Negative perfectly in order to master him. Play his rotation well between the light and the dark charges and build up to a big Razzle Dazzle special 2. The degen he can proc on that special 2 melts the tankiest of champions so freaking fast. And it's just rewarding too between his animations and again the damage that he can dish out. If you got one, I recommend ranking him up. For spot number 8, I gotta give that to Spidey99. This dude is growing on me. He's a smoother, faster Red Guardian, which can be super useful, again, for a lot of annoying nodes. This is sort of what I was talking about a little bit with Anti-Venom earlier. You wind up building up a bunch of different debuffs on the opponent, and go into town. This Spidey champion is worth ranking up, is good, and is worth bringing with you on your day-to-day questing roster. Rounding out the good tier, I give it to Strife. Strife can do some absolutely bonkers god tier damage once he's ramped up. And that's kind of the caveat. He's got to be ramped up to really start doing those sort of numbers. He's good out of the gate, but he's excellent ramped up. So unless you take him questing, the first few fights are going to be slow. By the end of the quest, you're going to be melting people. But that sort of slow build up is enough for me to kick him down to good tier. He's great, especially if you pair him up with Cable and Apocalypse. That trinity is amazing, but by himself, without the ramp up, yeah, he's good, definitely. Welcome to the God tier. This is the best of the best. This is my placement, starting off with rank 6, going to Overseer. Dude, Overseer, what a champion. Now, the catch with Overseer is that I very much recommend that he's awakened at a high sig level, and direct damage that he's able to inflict is very, very useful to his kit. A lot of the cool stuff he can wind up doing, he can do in his base kit, but if you really want to hammer home the pain, you're gonna want this guy high sig. But the name of the game can absolutely destroy your opponent with a very easy built-in regen too for sustainability. So you're going to want to have the damage masteries on with this guy as well. I took my Overseer up to rank 3 and I have never looked back. It is a joy to play this guy and to just watch your opponent melt after throwing that special 3. Rank 5 is going to go to Null. Null thankfully lives up to the hype from his comic, and in game here, the degen this guy can do is top notch. He's got some fun synergies as well. I think it plays to the character's strength as well as his lore. Null is a lot of fun, certainly worth a rank up. Rank 4 is a bit of a pain point for people because that's going to go to Sigil Witch. Scarlet Witch Sigil is locked behind a paywall, which is very unfortunate. She can inflict so much crazy damage. The debuffs that she can inflict just easily wind up melting opponents. The fact that she can nullify buffs just by a simple parry is fantastic, and that she prioritizes nullifying unblockable buffs on the opponents as well also plays up to her utility, and it's just an absolute blast out of the gate. Rank 3 is going to go to Shang-Chi. This dude is contentious to people. Some people love him, some people say he's ridiculously overhyped. For me, being able to control what he does when, based off of his combo, is absolutely amazing. I love that this dude does not need to be awakened to get absolutely broken amounts of damage. The fact that with a simple combo, he's able to keep a bunch of purifies on him at all times makes him immediately superior to Jabari Panther. And tied to the fact that with a stacking meter, his special damage just goes from bonkers to absolutely broken. It's fantastic, and easy access slow comes in handy all over the place. A simple heavy to reset all the charges really rewards players who are keen on spacing. Throw that in together with a champion who's able to go unblockable at will. This dude is just so immediately useful. Whether you need utility or damage or both, Shang-Chi is your guy. So here we are, guys. It's the last 2 of 2021. And coming in at rank number 2, the second best champion of 2021 is going to Hercules. Hercules is the second best champion behind Kitty Pryde, who I say is the best champion of 2021. Both of these champions absolutely refuse to die. Both of these champions can do absolutely disgusting amounts of damage. Both of these champions are amazing out of the gate. Both of these champions can do amazing things just by themselves. They've got synergies that can help amp themselves up as well. The deciding factor for me that separated Hercules as rank 2 and Kitty Pryde as rank 1 is that an awakened Hercules' immortality is a buff. It's such a bummer, man. If you go up against a node where you are prevented from having buffs, or your buff is nullified, or if you get hit by a big special 3 and the buff doesn't trigger in the first place, Hercules is toast. I absolutely love that his kit is skill based. It rewards you on skill for intercepts, for heavy intercepts. for special intercepts. I love that it's a persistent charge, so the farther into the fight you go, it just stacks and stacks and stacks, but he's good out of the gate already. His special attacks have a bunch of buffs as well, which can help mitigate a bunch of annoying nonsense, but that was the deciding factor between him and Kitty Pryde. Her ability to eat everything when she's phasing, it's untold levels of broken. Honestly, I still am just beside myself that they released Kitty Pryde in game as is. I just don't understand. With them as insistent as they are that Ghost is broken, that Quake is broken, that champions of that caliber are just so broken that they can't ever be released as higher rarities, or you have to introduce entire nodes or debuffs specifically to counter that one champion. Then they go and release Kitty Pryde, who is arguably the best champion in the game. The best champion in the game. The fact that she can heal so crazy much once she's phasing and debuffed into oblivion is mind-blowing. The fact that, again, she can just tank hit after hit after hit with little to no repercussion and do disgusting amounts of damage after being rewarded for it. It's, man, Kitty Pryde, what a god. But that's my list. That is 2021 in a nutshell. This is how it breaks down. Are you surprised by some of the placements of here? Where would you put some of the champions yourself? Let me know in the comment section. Like the video too while you're at it. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm robvonshoe. A very happy holiday to you. A happy new year, and we'll catch you in 2022. Take care, everybody.